really brief, super brief yap sesh with Mr. Blakeney. I have us moving on to the mock-up stage using the wireframes that you created earlier this week to start coding your final project. Keeping in mind that because of the way that a lot of this semester was spent troubleshooting, we did not get to as much content as I had anticipated. And so, on your finals, I want you to do a good job, but I also am going to be grading very patiently and very understandingly. I'm not going to flip a switch and suddenly ask for really intense things after we've spent a lot of the semester just trying to get it to work. So, I still want you to do a good job. I still want you to make an effort, but also know that I'm going to be grading pretty forgivingly on this final. So, hopefully that doesn't add additional stress to your, good morning, to your other finals. What I want to show you real quick are some helpful tools that will be hopefully useful in this creation of your portfolio. Let me update attendance real quick. There we go. There are two resources. There's a Tailwind Flexbox generator and a Tailwind grid generator. And I'm going to quickly show you how you can use those. And also today I'm going to give you the pre-configured final folder so that you have something to work in that's got some placeholder pages ready for you. The nav bar is already set up. You just need to create the actual code itself. So first I'm going to show you these generators. Next I'm going to go around the room and make sure everybody has this folder that they need saved properly in their OneDrive, and so that you can start coding your mockups. Also, seniors in here, whatever you've got done tomorrow at midnight, if we look at the Friday agenda real quick, you will have something called a Final Project Portfolio Senior Edition. That is what you will submit to because your first and second period finals are tomorrow. That will be the last time I will see my seniors in here. I'm going to miss y'all. Hopefully you have an exciting, fun time outside of high school. But you got to make sure you get your final submitted on the Final Project Portfolio Senior Edition by midnight on Friday. And then the rest of us, it's due Friday the 13th. And I'll accept it up until, I think I have to accept it up until your final period, but please don't make me wait that long, please don't wait that long, because I will also be out of town the last 2 days. Anyways, that's a lot of context that we'll get to a little bit later. Let's look at this Flexbox generator and this grid generator. There's two main ways that you're going to see these used. This is a way to customize some of the sections on your web page and maybe make it a little bit easier to start filling in the content and start creating these div boxes, these div sections, in a little bit more of a quick and customizable way that will get you started with something that's using our Tailwind correct class. So if you look at this first one, the Flexbox generator, it gives you 1, 2, 3 flex children that you can add more as necessary. You can see there's flex item 1, 2, and 3. They go in stack order, right? Remember the oldest child goes first, then the middlest child, then the youngest child. And they're going to line up in order from left to right. But if you want to customize the way that these children are laid out, you have this bar on the right-hand side here. You can change how the flex flexes. You can set it to flex none, which will just make them behave like normal H5 elements. You can set it to regular flex, where they'll only take up the required space available. Or you can set it to inline flex, where they just take up the amount of required width available. Okay, so I'm going to leave mine in flex. You can change the flex direction. You can make it a row, which doesn't change the appearance of the default. You can make it go backwards, reverse the row, with the youngest child in front, the middlest child still in the middle, and then the oldest child in the end. You can make it a column if you'd like. You can have it stack up 1, 2, and 3 while remaining flex sized. Just mess around with some of these options here. Maybe if we want inline flex, maybe we're trying to create a little resource section over on the side here and then pair it up with another div inside of our portfolio here. Please close your connections and your Wordles and stuff. That's not what we're doing right now. I can close it for you if necessary. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. All right, So the flex generator will give you a copy and paste code with a div class. You might need to change this to class name, but it's giving you this output right here that you can directly copy and paste into your code. You can change the justification to justify at the end of the flex box down at the bottom. We set this back to regular flex and then flex row. Okay, if you justify it to the end, it'll go to the farthest right-hand end of your screen. If you justify center, it keeps them in the middle. If you justify between, it's going to space them out evenly. You can set the flex to grow, which is going to affect the middle flex box. If you're creating something like a big main section and then two smaller sections, you can use this to do that. You can change the align items. You can set the items to stretch so that they start filling up a lot of the available screen space here. And then you'll just copy and paste this div code into your final project. So this is a good starting point to get you a good Flexbox container that allows you to mess around with some of the options here. Justify end, right? And a lot of these aren't going to change because the grow and stretch are kind of taken over, but Flexbox Generator is a good place to start if you want to get a Flexbox quickly put together. The other thing I want to show you is this grid generator. We did not talk about CSS grids at all this semester. That's something that we'll need to talk about more in the future. But CSS grids are kind of like an advanced older cousin to Flexboxes. Grids gives you a bunch of customizable spacing. And with the grid generator, you can create a grid based on clicking on these boxes. Let's say I wanted 5 divs across the top, 2 divs down here. Maybe I want another div over here, and then 2 more at the bottom over here. You see how they count up as I click on them? 1 through 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This is also going to allow me to change the gap on these, maybe give them a little bit more breathing room or a little bit less breathing room if I want my items closer together in proximity. Gap of 0 is going to make them touch, so you probably want a gap of at least 1 to separate out these sections. You can change the amount of columns, which is going to affect the boxes that you've already put in. You can change the amount of rows, which is going to affect the amount of boxes that you've already put in. But once you have a grid that you like, here is the JSX that you can just copy and paste straight into your project, and then start adjusting these div children to contain the content you actually want them to contain, and adjusting the content within them with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For example, they're going to be in this position in your code. Let me show you real quick what this looks like when you put it inside of your final project. So I'm going to open up the folder that I'm about to give you. Let me get it off of my thumb drive here real quick. These are tools that are going to help you get started laying out your site. I've also given you a template, or I will be giving you a template, which should be, where did I put it? 2024-5. Where did I put you? I'll find it here in a sec. I don't know why it's not popping up immediately. Anyway, figure that out later. So, if you copy and paste this code, I'll just open my May project real quick. It's Mr. 2, Web Design, Admin, May. Okay. Let's close out all of this so that we have something to write on. Okay. Alright, so let me start my server, normal stuff, npm run dev. Oh, I put nom run dev, so that'll do it. Okay, so check this out. If I'm coding on just a blank page, this is in my May notebook. It's not in the one that you're going to see. So I can take my Flexbox here, copy and paste the whole thing, Control-C, go into my HTML sections on a to-do list.tsx, paste that in. It's going to get a little frustrated with me because it says class. We need to change this class into class name if you're using the Flexbox generator. So these are going to be flex item 1, 2, and 3. If I go back to my output here, you're going to see I'm going to have flex item 1, 2, and 3. I think item 2, yeah, is getting overwritten by the to-do list. Let me add some lorem ipsum to these so you can see how big they are. So let's go lorem, and then one more lorem. Control S to save. You can see these are my 3 flex boxes, quickly generated, and I can start customizing them as necessary. I can also take my Tailwind grid once I've got it generated and once I'm happy with the layout. Hey, guys, I'm showing you tricks. You should listen. Shush. We're going to copy. What if we just click the copy button right here? Copy the JSX, go into wherever I'm creating my code, go after the div that I just wrote, Control V, Control S. If I go back to my output here, I'm going to have, you can't see anything because it's underneath the footer, but now I have all these sections, just like how I customized them in the grid generator, and I can adjust whatever content I want to put on here. So content, maybe we'll do some lorem on 2, maybe we'll do some actual lorem on 3, Control S, and that's going to put these in the specific grid sections that you put together right here. So for today, because you're doing mock-ups, don't worry about the sizing if it's a little bit off. You see how my sizing's getting a little funky, but it's still maintaining that layout that I used in my grid generator right here, just like my Flexbox up top is maintaining the same generation that I put right here. So these 2 things are hopefully going to be useful ways for you to create containers on your final sites. I'm going to make sure that I have the final folder ready to go on my thumb drive so that you can start coding them in there. But our main task for today is to start mocking up your final projects, which will be due a week from tomorrow. Okay? You guys are going to do great. I have full faith that these are going to be very good looking projects, very professional portfolios. But use your time wisely so that you can get it in time for me to grade it and give you, excuse me, and give you good feedback. Okay? So, give me a sec to get this folder ready to go. I'll also get the video posted by the end of the period so you can refer back to this as necessary. Good luck.